Welcome back to Compelled Cooperation in the second episode of my Chex Quest. Playing the original Chex Quest and eventually the sequels to Chex Quest. I'm going to use the boot spoon here for a little bit. Humorously, in all Doom games, no matter what gun you use, if you attack with it, it will make a quote-unquote attack sound for all enemies that are within the space that you're occupying. So even though all I did was poke the guy with a spoon, every enemy heard it in this entire room. Which also means, humorously, in Doom, you can have the chainsaw out and not be attacking anyone with it, and nobody hears it, but as soon as you punch the air in front of you, it alerts all the enemies, so it's pretty funny. This is obviously the fist. This is the pistol. This is the chain gun. Not the chain gun, the minigun. And I'll be mentioning more things that fit their Doom counterparts as I see them. The health pickups that you see are all food-based, because this is Chex. So vegetables and where was it? Vegetables and fruit bowls are the most commonly seen health pickups. And then it's a supercharged breakfast is the overheal health. You pick up water as just the 1% health upgrades. And there's like little anti-slime cans that are the upgrades. Yeah, there's the no slime cans. Those are like the 1% armor. Yeah, slime repellent. But I already have 200, but whatever, I'm going to pick it up anyway. And there's a supercharged breakfast guarded by the... I think it's a pinky equivalent. I'm just going to punch these people. Like I said, a lot of melee enemies in the early levels. So you can just kind of go through, oh, I got damaged for the first time. Oh well, not a big deal. The chainsaw equivalent is hilarious. I'm going to definitely try to pick that up when I first see it. It is the boot spork. So unlike the boot spoon, it is the a chainsaw, and it's really hilarious. Obviously, as you can see, the keys are pretty much just keys. And there are no equivalents of skull keys, because this is the first 5 levels of the first... I don't know if it's a mission or campaign, or I forget what it's called. Episode? Yeah, it's E1M1 through E1M5 are converted over. And so that's all that they bothered to update enemy textures for. They basically went through and purged all of the Doom stuff, but they didn't necessarily replace it if they didn't need to. So in other words, that means if you use the level cheats to go to a different level, you end up with invisible enemies, and they're all the most difficult enemies. Here's the rocket launcher. When I was younger, I didn't understand why that would damage me, because I never played Doom. So I'm like, the other Zorches don't damage me. So here's a hidden thing. There you go. And this is like the coolest one in the game, because remember I was saying Digital Cafe made this game? So this secret, in addition to having the BFG equivalent, I think it's called the Super Zorcher, or the LAS device, that's what it is. This has the entire development team in very high quality renders of themselves. This was 1996 that this game came out. So this is the development team. They had a decent number of developers working on this. Like I said, they had a decent budget to work on it, and it was going out to a lot of people. One of these guys is the guy that developed Chex Quest 3, almost entirely on his own. I don't know which guy it is. So one of them, I'll look it up. It was Charles Jacoby. I always mispronounce it because all of the cheats in this game were developers' names. So I always remembered it as like Charles Jacob I instead of Charles Jacoby. just thought I could remember it. Much the same as all of the Doom codes started with ID for ID software. All of these were developers' names for, like, invincibility and all the other stuff. But I don't remember any of that. However, humorously, because this is the Z-Doom port version, I think I can like just choose an option in the options menu just to turn on invincibility. There are so many options because Z-Doom is one of the more advanced, modern, in quotes, Doom engines. It has mouse look, I could put up a target reticle if I wanted to, that sort of thing. Not exactly vanilla, but if I wanted to, and do some other stuff. If I wanted to, but like I said, I'm doing pretty much vanilla, although vanilla of the Doom 3 version, so I don't mind using mouse look. The Doom engine has a very weird way of handling vertical stuff. One thing you'll notice is there will never be a vertical plane above another vertical plane. So you'll have lots of elevators, but no bridges. And that's just a limitation of that Doom engine. There's also no way to jump or anything. That would break a lot of puzzles in the original Doom if you could jump. There is a way, if you go fast enough, you can quasi-jump by like running across something. But there are ways to sequence break in the original Doom using the running key, which was a feature of the original Doom, and is included in these other engine ports of Doom, whether it be Z-Doom or something else. That's just one of the many idiosyncrasies that makes Doom interesting to play and gives it a lot of replay value and discussion value later on. The vertical space in Doom is what I'm talking about. There are a lot of different puzzles with raising and lowering different things so that you can step on them, and it's never really addressed in-universe at all. But then again, there's not a lot of anything addressed in universe, because essentially the plot of Doom is zombies and the plot of Chex Quest is Zorch the Flemoids. Not that that matters, because it's just a fun run-and-gun FPS. As you can see, all of the armor is Chex armor as well. Continuing the serial theme. The plot, I think, at least in the first one, is... I think there's an opening cinematic that, for whatever reason, doesn't play in this version, I guess. But basically, I'm sure you can find it on YouTube, it's not a big deal. Basically, there are a bunch of Chex people that get trapped by Flemoids on this planet Bazoik, and then you have to run through this various Chex facilities. This is the warehouse. You have to run through the various Chex facilities in order to liberate them, free them from their Flemoid captors. And I'm not entirely sure the plots of the other ones, because again, I barely played those. No way. But this is the era where plots and games weren't really that important. The gameplay was a lot more important, and that's where a lot of the innovations were coming from. There are also a lot of limitations to telling your story. But it didn't matter because the gameplay was so fun and so enjoyable. So here we have the first projectile enemies. And these are the just regular demons. Ow. Oh, there's a guy behind me, that's why. The imps, I think they are, in Doom. It's weird, because some of the Doom enemies, I'll remember their names forever, like the Mancubus, and other ones like the imps and stuff I tend to forget. But I'll try to keep mentioning all the different ones as I see them and what they correspond to in the original Doom, because I think that information is really fun and exciting. But that is the end of the second level and the end of the second episode. and we will come back, not the end of the second Chex Quest episode, but the end of the... This is confusing. The end of the Compelled Cooperation episode, but the end of the mission in Chex Quest, which corresponds to the end of the episode in Compelled Cooperation, and I'll talk to you next time.